this thing up.
It started up. Where do I go?
Yes. Right here.
Cool.
This way. This way. Look at you can sit.
Hey
it's
folks.
Okay.
Oh, I can sit? I'm gonna sit.
Yeah, your legs might get a little tired if
That's
you're
cool.
Like, perched up like that.
How's it going, folks?
Hey. Chris Gore's back. Yay, we fixed everything. Just last time Stickman just went kaplooey and what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to do something funny with the camera. How's it going, folks? Just so you know, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Anything about today's show, yesterday's show, previous shows.
Whoa. Future shows.
Future shows. Any other projects or activity.
Yeah, someone was saying that there needed to be a battle of you versus Hardwick, so it could be like the ultimate Chris battle.
There could be. We took a picture of Candace in a Chris sandwich, which I'm sure she'll tweet later.
It's like a croissant, but
a croissant. Yeah, it was a croissant. But yeah, when is G4 coming back to DirecTV?
As soon as we can.
As soon as we can. I would like to know because I'm also a DirecTV subscriber.
Me too.
Which
I couldn't watch
sucks.
the new Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, well, I watch everything on the internet. I watch everything on and also there's an app for the iPhone.
Yeah.
There's an iPhone app, and I'm sure for Android also, right? There's a G4 app, so I just use the G4
app. Yeah, there is. Because I have it for Android.
Wiffle Ball Bat. See, that could be a show on the YouTube channel. So
Wiffle Bat Fight Club. It could be a whole show. It could be.
It could be a show.
Brutal.
It could be a show.
We've drawn blood with Wiffle Bat Fight Club here.
You can. Here's what I want to do. Is anybody out there playing Gotham City Imposters? I love that game. So I play it on Xbox. And what I would like to see is a battle of Jokers versus Bats, but in real paintball. So playing paintball with people dressed as Jokers and Bats. So
well, for your next birthday party, there you go.
That's what I should do.
Cosplay birthday party.
So if anyone playing Gotham City Imposters, my Xbox name gamertag is gbone77. Please don't make fun of me. It's gbone77. Yes, you can be a Bats. I wonder, would there be more Bats or Jokers? I kind of would want to be in a Bat. I actually have an outfit that kind of looks like one of those sort of ghetto Gotham City Imposter outfits. Yeah. I know it seems weird, but yeah, so I have one of those.
Well, didn't you do Batman for Halloween too, like beating up Batman?
I did do Batman for Halloween. I even did, here, I'll show you guys. Yeah. For any of you that don't follow my Twitter.
Shame on you, you should.
At that Chris Gore. I did this thing this weekend called cosplay karaoke. Cosplay karaoke is where you go and you dress as like you're a cosplay character and then you get up and sing a song. I was either going to sing Like a Rock or I Want to Rock and Roll All Night. And here was my costume.
You see the little 4 there? Little 4 on that belt?
So I was like Ben Grimm. Well, thank you very much. Welcome to Crazy Town. Because I agree with you.
He does have the best.
Yes.
It's even better than mine.
And I've met, you know what? Chris Hardwick, pretty good hair too. Alex Albrecht, I don't know. I got some stiff competition, but there should be a show just about our hair.
The hair.
Kevin's is good too. What product do I use? I use this stuff. It's like lip balm for your head. I do kind of dress like that every Sunday. Yeah. Nihilism for life. But so what can I say? Thank you for the compliment. Welcome to Crazy Town on the Better Movie Reviews. It's not clay. What is this stuff? It's like a
pomade.
It's not a pomade, but it's like I don't know what it is, but it's put it on there and
sticky,
then
pretty hair stuff.
And then the great thing is, if I don't wash my hair for a couple days, I still have it.
Nice.
I'm a budget-minded person when it comes to doing my stuff with my hair.
It is almost anime.
It is kind of like anime, but the question I get asked all the time is, my hair is I started like getting silver hair when I was like 19. So
I think it's cool, but that's just
it looks cool, but I know people who try to color their hair to look like this.
That's true. It's actually kind of in right now.
Yeah, and this is I would describe this as a JBF.
What is it? Dare I ask what? Oh.
Well, go ahead. You can figure it out.
No, yeah. I just won't say it out loud.
You want to dye your hair all white, but you're Asian. Welcome to Crazy Town. Don't worry. You'll get old, and then it'll turn white.
Maybe. Or see a professional.
So, yeah. Wait, you saw me on an Axe shampoo commercial, Jiffer? That wasn't me. I'm sorry. It was not me.
Wasn't, although I swear I saw a guy who had hair like that. I was at a restaurant once, and he had like the super spiky, hard.
Really?
I'm like, he looks
I might go that way.
Dude.
Who knows? But yeah, Silver Fox, I get that sometimes. Yeah. I prefer salt and peppery pile of delicious.
So not that peppery. I just like the silver. I think it's.
Oh, well, thank you. You're 25 and can't get into R-rated movies? That was me, dude. Welcome to Crazy Town. That was me. I was 20, and I still look like I was about 15 years old when I was 25.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So, what can I say? Anyways, Steve Martin, Jim Jarmusch, the filmmaker, these are all people who sort of prematurely got the silver locks. So,
and you just got to work it.
All right, let's off the hair topic. Let's discuss movies. What are you folks watching? I have a movie recommendation. Consider this a bonus feature for those of you who watch the DVDs segment and like it. Obviously, you're here. You're dedicated. I'm going to give you a couple things and a piece of information, actually. Oh, thank you. Welcome to Crazy Town. You're a director. Love your foreign film. Thank you. Thank you. The thing is this, 2012 will be the first year that downloads will exceed purchases of DVDs. This is what's estimated.
Time for that to happen, huh?
So I think that's a trend that we should address on the show, and I would like to institute a new segment like sort of like download of the week or on the DL, or we'll come up with something clever.
You can definitely add that onto DVDs. Like it's not just DVDs, and half the time you're reviewing Blu-rays anyway. So
yeah, Bobby FJ Town crashed the podcast. We'll talk about that. We'll get to that later.
Whoa.
But so I definitely want to do something. I either want to do 3D DVDs Day because there's a lot of 3D DVDs that are coming out. In fact, there's a theory I actually have heard that like Hollywood loves 3D movies because you can't bootleg them. You can't do cam versions. They look awful. They're unwatchable. So they're just more difficult to bootleg.
Yeah, but then there's people like me who just hate 3D and get in the head.
I'm not a fan of 3D. Actually, what I'm a fan of is IMAX. I love IMAX because IMAX, if you've ever gone to an IMAX movie, you see it and you feel like woozy because it's so like, whoa. IMAX is great. What I want to do is, but when they start making IMAX TVs, that'll be, make no sense, actually, IMAX TVs. Anyways, I was actually building up to something of a point that I want to do this download segment, and a movie that we would feature on it. I'll give. Do you guys have Netflix? Anyone out there have Netflix streaming? Okay, I have the Netflix streaming only. It's cheap. It's the cost of going to one movie.
Yeah.
Netflix, a movie I will recommend, and maybe we'll even cover this in the next couple of weeks. Fubar, Balls to the Wall. Remember that. Fubar, Balls to the Wall. It is a Canadian comedy. What's cool about it is you know how like American comedies, we kind of have the same 20 or 30 people that are in all of them.
Yep.
It's like, I love Paul Rudd. I love all the people I see in every one of them. Fubar is Canadian, so it's all this whole new cast, and it's these two dudes that are complete losers who end up burning their house down at this huge party, which is in celebration of a guy surviving ball cancer. And then they go to work on the Canadian pipeline. And they have a friend who's this sort of badass whose nickname is Tron. And he carries around a chainsaw. Anyways,
great name.
Remember that movie, Fubar, Balls to the Wall. It's one of the best comedies I've seen in years, and it's also refreshing because it's not your typical comedy that we always see.
Who directed it?
You guys are having a conversation. Yeah, Fubar. That's it. Welcome to Crazy Town. That's the title. Look it up now. Multitask. You have multiple screens. You don't need to see me. You know what I look like. Go to another screen and do that. Now, someone asked about crashing their podcast. Now, I mean,
that was Bobby F. Johnstown.
I do, for those of you who know, I do this podcast called Pod Crash, where the premise is, I love 21 Jump Street. It was awesome.
The new one?
Yes, it was really good. The fact that it also made fun of remakes and reboots, I thought was great. So Pod Crash, this is it.
Showing off your card on
it's
if you hold it still, it might eventually come into focus.
It's the name of this show, and what I do on the show is I'm too lazy to do podcasts, so I just go on other people's podcasts.
It's more fun anyway.
Yeah, and I do different podcasts like all the time. Like I do movie and geeky podcasts, and then I've done sex podcasts. I've done podcasts about comic books. I've done just all different types of podcasts. Did a podcast about football, sports podcast. I'm doing a motorcycle enthusiast podcast, an ice fishing podcast.
You know stuff about ice fishing?
Yes.
Or does it not matter?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm doing, so I did a podcast with two twin French female wrestlers, the Poubelle twins, called the Slap Booth Show, where they slap me at the end of the show, which is really funny. and they're actually real wrestlers in the Lucha Vavoom. Do you ever go to Lucha Vavoom?
I haven't, but you've
You
told
have
me
not
about
been.
it.
You got to go to Lucha Vavoom because everybody dresses up.
Oh, okay.
It's like cosplay where everybody's dressed up like, well, it's like people are wrestling, but then you've got like the audience actually shows up to participate. Blaine Capatch is the announcer, and they have like comedians doing the announcing. It's so much fun. Look up Lucha Vavoom.
I love wrestling and cosplay. I don't know why I'm not doing it.
So the Podcrash thing is I have a producer for the show. I'll give you a hint how to contact him. If your guys are on Twitter, his name is Sean Merrick, spelled SHWN. He's at Angry Hero Sean, at Angry Hero Sean on Twitter. And you can contact him via Twitter. And we're really looking for podcasts, though. It's like they have to have been around at least a year. Because I feel like it takes that long. Like I still feel like I'm trying to figure out what my podcast is. We've done like, I don't know, I've done like 22 episodes, but I've been on about 40 different podcasts because we have upcoming episodes. We're trying to build up a backlog. What's your podcast, Bobby FJ Town? Because I use the Stitcher app. Yes. And I'll Skype in. Yes, I use Skype. And then what I'll do, Bobby FJ Town, Wrestling Mayhem. Okay, good. Contact at Angry Hero Sean. What I do is I'll be on Skype on your podcast, and then I sync it and I record into GarageBand using like a much better mic. And then what I'll do, that's it. Angry Hero Sean. Thanks, Bobby FJ. So then, yeah, do you know who can rate my Sex I Story album? No, I don't, Media Blaster. Sorry. Thanks, but Chris, you're just a great speaker. Well, thank you for that. I actually think I am. Except in Attack of the Show. Here, Attack of the Show, I feel like I have so much stuff to tell you guys, and I have like 5 minutes. It's like it's like a race. It's like ready, set, go. You know, and then I gotta get all that stuff out of my brain.
In like
so
20 seconds.
yeah,
Okay.
better look at this. This is the best compliment I've ever received. He is an even better speaker than Hitler. Thank you, amazing
That means
Nerdo.
you've made it. You've made it.
Sure. So, but this is also like when I was thinking about doing a podcast, I didn't want to just do a movie podcast. I wanted to do a podcast where I could talk about everything, anime. I'm doing an Asian film podcast too.
Oh, cool.
So I kind of forget the name of it.
Anime News Network. They do a podcast.
I would do that show because then I would just talk. But what I like is that I can go on a show and talk about whatever, you know, and I'm not limited to just talking about film stuff. I haven't watched the new season of Archer. It's one of those things I'll see on DVD. But what I like is I can just talk about different types of things. So it really is, it's hard. It's more of a comedy podcast where I'm pretty much the source of the
comedy
humor. It's always like the whole thing is like if I'm good on the podcast, that's good. If I'm really bad on the podcast, that's good. Because
it's entertaining, right?
Right, you're listening to me listen to the show with you, so I'm kind of presenting it, and I'm saying like what went wrong. Like on this one podcast, Tower of Sour, these guys talked about how to make homemade fleshlights, which was using a Stack's potato chips can, and they went into real detail about the instructions of like how to make it. And I'm sitting here listening to these guys, and all they did was make me feel incredibly uncomfortable to the point where I'm thinking, why did I do this podcast? But it ended up being really funny because it's like they were making fun of me. So
who does that?
Yeah, well, I don't care as long as the show's entertaining. Like
that's all that matters.
Feel like exactly. I feel like I have a good sense of humor about myself. So like I make fun of me as long as you're entertained. That's cool. And then I do try to leak stuff in. The one thing I'll let you guys know, since you're dedicated people listening to me talk to you at the moment, if you listen to the end of every episode of Podcrash, it feels like the show is over. So it's like it gets to the end of the show and there's like you just, and I do like I'll end the show by saying, okay, that's the end of the show, let's get out of here. And then you'll hear like an explosion or something blowing up from the end of a different movie every week. And then it gets quiet for a minute and then you hear me come back on. And I put Easter eggs at the end and then I tell you how you can win DVDs every week.
That is awesome. So
but you have to be, yeah, exactly. If you pay attention and listen to the very end of the show, you will find out, but you have to like subscribe on iTunes and then like you'll be first to download it, listen to the very end and it tells you I'll tell you how you can win. It's a different way every week.
That's pretty cool.
And then what's funny is there'll be little Easter eggs and then also like, you guys watch Attack of the Show, right?
They better be.
Yeah. So you watch Attack of the Show. You know, I use those cards on the show. Okay. I'm going to give you something right now. The little cards that are hold, which is basically just me writing down notes. like of what I'm going to say, but then I never really look at them because once I write them down, I kind of already know what it's the act of writing it down that helps me. It's like taking notes in school. Anyways, so I save all those cards. And if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, I'll send you one of the cards I used on the show. And I'll put in some other free stuff too. So send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. Here's my address. You ready? You can send it to Podcrash with that Chris Gore. The address is 5042 Wilshire Boulevard. That's Wilshire Boulevard. PMB 1500. It stands for private mailbox. You're right. It's not actually my home. I don't live there. It's in Los Angeles, California, 90036.
Well, let's fail to ask him again on Twitter because it's a lot to remember.
Yeah. So just if you send me it's just, you know what's so funny? People don't know how a self-addressed stamp envelope, how it works.
Nope.
That's it. It's 1500. eBayer. It's 1500. 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500. So send me that. I will I'm making her yawn.
No, it's the air conditioning.
Is it the air? It's really, I think it's warm in here, but that's just me.
Yeah.
It's warm. I'm gonna take my shirt off.
Take your jacket off.
I'm gonna take my shirt off here.
Let's do it. It's the internet. We can do anything we want.
Right. I'm wearing a shirt. Nice. A friend of mine's doing a film festival in Florida called the Flamingo Film Festival. She's doing it, and I thought I'd wear the shirt on the show today.
Aw, that's sweet.
Wait a sec. Wild Cartoon Kingdom. No. Oh, that's funny. Who's this? Wait. Erebus AD. Attribute the folding of Wild Cartoon Kingdom to the unfavorable. No, it's just I don't know. Just the publisher decided not to do the magazine. No conspiracy there. I used to do a magazine called Wild Cartoon Kingdom. This is a magazine was before the internet. That's where I came from. Was the magazine
there
business.
Were things before the internet.
The magazines are this thing where they're like they take words and they put them on really thin slices of wood.
Whoa.
So it's like the internet, but on pieces of wood. But it's wood that's so thin. It's that you can just
cut yourself with it.
Yeah, and a lot of people still use paper. There's a TV show about this company that sells paper, The Office. So I love that show. But yeah, that's where I kind of came from, was the magazine business. So there you go. Do you dislike, or is it, hey, I do other things too? No, I love being known for AOTS, but it's like, I feel like people know me from different arenas. Like some people know me from the indie film world because I wrote a book called The Ultimate Film Festival Survival Guide about how to get your movie into a film festival and marketing for indie films. Some people know me from Film Threat. Some people know me from Attack of the Show. Some people know me from Podcrash. Some people know me from doing stand-up comedy in LA. Some people know me from a bunch of different things. I'm doing some more stuff. Like, I'm going to be in this series called Chamber and Friends, which is it's a web series about the world of podcasts, which is hilarious. I'm in 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I kind of spark a big conflict. It's pretty funny. I've read the scripts. They're hilarious. So yeah, like I feel like some people know, Clark Kent. He's like, oh, you're an ace reporter. How do you get all those stories? And then some people know the other guy takes his glasses off and he lifts things a lot. So yeah. Oh, and George Lucas, The People versus George Lucas. Yeah. So, and I've just been in a bunch of documentaries. I'm in a lot of them, actually. If you look me up on IMDb, I'm sort of the guy that you can interview, and for 5 minutes I can be funny, but then sort of wrap some smart, intelligent comments in that. That's what the reviews have said, not me. I would never say that about myself. Because my show is sort of the height of narcissism. Let's face it. It's a show about where I'm the guest on every show.
I like that idea.
So, but
the
odd thing is, wait, that's Batman, right? It is, yes, Superman in that analogy. Possibly. But I've done that thing where I've worn glasses in public because I have this pair of glasses that's like the Superman glasses, and everyone knows who you are. They're going to have to explain that in the new Superman movie. So, the thing is this, I have been approached about doing Podcrash as a TV show.
Oh.
So that could be the typical of anything that, what's that?
How would that work as a TV show?
Oh, I can tell you exactly how it works. This is how it works, because the TV world is different. So, yes, narcissist, and it's narcissistic, and people have described it as metasturbation. It's very meta. It's like metasturbation, or it's like the inception of podcasts. How the TV show version of Podcrash would work is you have to downscale it for TV. On podcasts, you can talk for an hour and a half. And I don't think that I think podcasts, people still don't know what a podcast is, right? They still don't know what podcasts are. Matt, they don't know. How come Matt doesn't have a podcast? But I've heard work on one.
Yeah. And then you can crash it.
Yes,
Yay.
but like what I'm trying to do with my show is introduce people to other shows.
Right.
I'm not reviewing them. Like I'm not saying, oh, I'm just saying, hey, I'm exposing you to other people.
Here's this thing, it's out there.
And also I think what's weird about it is being a guest on a show is different than being a host.
Yes.
Like to me, Kevin Pereira, amazing host. I mean, like he's giving and he knows how to like play off of people. Candace Bailey, same thing. Like Chris Hardwick. Those people are genius hosts. I can say funny stuff, but I feel more comfortable actually being a guest because there's no pressure on me.
Right.
Like there's no pressure. It's like I don't have to. I can just be
don't
funny.
represent the company,
I don't have to like remember stuff to say. I don't have to introduce people. I can just be.
There's no pressure to time things.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's So I can. So there's no pressure there. But like the way the TV show would work is because it'll be like 22.5 minutes for TV. The first segment would be me being on some weird podcast. Like I'm going to be on a show called the S&M Rants. I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's a show from Montreal about BDSM.
Cool.
That'll be an interesting show. And then let's say, so there'll be the first segment I'd be on like some weird podcast, right? Like a ice fishing podcast. Like, what am I doing here? Then talk to my producer, Sean, like, hey, why did we do that? Then the middle segment would be like a major podcast, like Joe Rogan, maybe Nerdist. I've never been on the Nerdist podcast.
We need to make that happen.
I think I'm the only G4 person who's never been on Nerdist.
No, I haven't either, so.
Oh, okay.
But then again, I'm not
All right,
really
good. Then I don't feel so bad.
So.
I don't feel so bad.
We
You are a G4 personality.
Sort of, except I don't get the pay or any of the other
Well,
things,
I guess maybe you're more like, because I feel this way
Really
too.
this
I'm
way.
definitely like B team, which I'm totally
I'm more
comfortable
like
being. Like,
CDT.
but what I mean by that is like, there's no pressure on me. It's like, oh, like I'm not. Look, Candace and Kevin, they work their asses off. They're amazing.
They make it look easy. It's not easy.
They make it look easy because they're having fun, so it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
So, anyways, thank you. Thank you, Corey Fish. Tuesday on AOTS is my favorite show because thank you very much. I do appreciate it. She's the flux capacitor of G4. Yes.
I do make things
Nihilism
happen.
for life. Yes, you are. So I kind of feel like it's cool. Like one time Blair Butler and we were sitting in a meeting, and I hate meetings. Actually, who here loves meetings? Nobody. Okay. So I was sitting in a meeting, and I was sitting next to Blair Butler, and we were so bored, and we were like ranking everyone, because it was all the hosts. It was like an all hands on deck meeting about Comic-Con or something.
Right.
And so like everyone was there, and we were just like taking everyone from the network on G4 and like if we were the Justice League, who we would be.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was like, Kevin is Batman and Adam Sessler is Superman. And, so we were kind of going down the line, and I was like, I think I'm Aqualad. Like by the time we got like all the good heroes were taken, I was Aqualad, and I think she was Black Canary or something. I don't know. Like, it would just like, we were like, yeah, we kind of just, that's where we rank. I want to be anything, any hero where Lad is in the title. Lad.
Today I was filling in for Rick on the Twitter wall, so I'm Twitter wall last.
Twitter wall last.
But I'm
See,
like,
last
I'm like,
yes.
There's like
I
3 guys above me for the Twitter wall.
Maybe I could be Jor-El because I have the hair, right? I could be Jor-El, Kal-El's dad. Okay, forget it. Lightning Lad. Anything with Lad. I love superheroes with Lad. I love how they've like retired those names because who says the word Lad anymore? Unless I guess you're in Ireland.
Yeah.
If you're in Ireland, you probably say
funny.
Lad. Or Irish Spring commercials.
Yeah.
You say Lad.
Laddie.
Yeah, but I don't know. That new Superman movie looks like it's going to be amazing. I know some stuff about it. I'm not a huge Superman fan. I like the original Richard Donner movies, and I've read some of the comic books. The best comic books were written by Alan Moore. There's one when they were sort of rebooting Superman way back in the day when they did the Man of Steel comics. This is like in the 80s. And Alan Moore wrote this Superman story where Superman, I forget the name of the villain. It's one where he basically went into a coma. It looks like a starfish. It was like on his chest, and Superman goes in this coma, and he lives in his head, and you see this whole fantasy take place in his head of like a different Superman story. It's awesome.
That does sound like fun.
So I really feel like it's hard because I think Max Ruby did that amazing. Did you ever see the Death and Return of Superman by Max Ruby? Max Ruby did this rant. He's the guy who wrote the film Chronicle. He's the screenwriter of that film, and Max Ruby did this rant. It was hilariously portrayed. It was like a 16-minute stand-up bit, and then it was hilariously portrayed in this thing where they had people acting out all the stuff that happened in the comic book. It's brilliant. Max Denson. Oh, it's hilarious, Max Denson. It's hilarious, Max Denson. You should. It's on YouTube. So I just like to tell you guys about cool stuff like foobar balls to the wall.
Things you might not necessarily hear about normally. This guy knows it.
Yeah, I feel like it's my obligation. Hey, Deb, how's it going? I feel like it's my obligation to we'll tell you about the big movies that came out. Hey, you're in deep Sifel. Fubar equals epic. You've seen it. I'm right, aren't I? Aren't I?
He's always right.
Yeah, Fubar, balls to the wall. So my obligation is to tell you the big movies that come out on DVD, what the deal is on those, and then try to sneak in some reference to something you may not know about unless you saw me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like to watch. It's because I'm just old and have seen a lot of movies. Hey, Gabe. I have not seen Manborg, but I love when you go to Netflix and they have those things the suggestions where you scroll through and it's the worst bad. It's I can watch 15 minutes of any of those movies. I really wish. I'd love to just see. Can you convince my wife that Twilight movies are lame? First of all,
has she seen them?
I don't know how to do that. But what's annoyed me recently is the comparisons of Hunger Games to Twilight. There's no compare. They're different movies. I mean, first of all, I think Hunger Games is really well made. Jennifer Lawrence is an amazing actress in it. It owes more to First Blood and Battle Royale than anything else. And if you like those, and then in addition, there's a whole political intrigue that's just not a part of Twilight. I just think Twilight actually does a disservice to women who think that dudes actually act like that.
Yeah.
Do you think dudes? Twilight Modern Warfare, where you just shoot the characters from Twilight.
That'd be great. I saw the Breaking Dawn Part 1 on the plane to Japan.
Oh, did you?
Because it was a 12-hour flight. Come on, I needed something to watch.
Okay.
And it's just so bad.
Another little inside thing. Look, because you people, I thank you people who stuck around to listen to me rant for 30 minutes. So next week we're going to be reviewing a movie called Breaking Wind, which is a parody of Breaking Dawn and all the Twilight movies. But I feel like I don't know what to do to tell your wife that they're awful. I feel like they're just melodrama that is a fantasy version of how male-female relationships really are.
Not at all.
When I think we know that's in real life, relationships are work. Yes, I love Dexter, but I have to say, disappointed in the Dexter DVDs because there's not a lot of extras, and usually they put nothing on them. Although I went to Best Buy and I picked up one of the Dexter seasons specifically because it had their Comic-Con press conference. And what was funny is they misspelled Comic-Con. So it was like a DVD with no menu screen, you just put it in. So sometimes Best Buy will do those exclusives. If I had more time on the show, I would, I'd talk about this kind of stuff or maybe do a little bloggy thing on G4 or something. Yeah. I buy DVDs for the extras. If the extras aren't there, unless it's a movie I really love, I'm going to watch it multiple times. There's very few DVDs I own that are just the movie, pretty much, unless it's something really strange. Yes, well, maybe the YouTube thing, or I don't know, Anime Underground. See, you should do that.
Pitch it.
Yeah, well, you should pitch it. I actually had. It's so funny. I had a pitch, actually. I might do this as a YouTube thing. Yeah. I had a pitch for Allison Hayslip, actually. I love Allison.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of,
we all love Allison.
It's weird because I love everyone I work with here. It's weird. I've never worked anywhere where I really love, we're all sort of, you know what, Nerdist Channel, I would love to do the Nerdist Channel. I have to talk to Chris Hardwick. I should.
Well, he was in the studio.
He's in the studio, but then I feel like such a schmuck. I'm going to go up to him hey, Chris, can I have a TV show?
Yeah.
So I am doing, actually, it's maybe too early to plug this. We are the Nerdist Chat. What's that? Yes, tell the Nerdist people that Chris Gore should be on the
Nerdist Channel.
The Nerdist Channel.
And have his own show.
And have a show. So I just don't want to do anything that people like would. That's why Pod Crash is the way it is. Like I talk about movies. Like even when I did that football podcast, I talked about like my favorite football movies. When I do the motorcycle podcast, I'll talk about like I used to ride a motorcycle in LA until I almost got killed several times.
Yeah.
So I stopped. But then we're going to talk about like motorcycle films. So I do kind of, start a petition.
They keep saying they're going to do stuff like that.
Do it. I'll support it.
Yeah.
But then I feel like a schmuck. I feel like I'm really bad at like, even though I promote my own stuff, like I feel weird asking people, asking like, Chris, can I be on your show? Because then I just feel like I'm being a jerk. It's like asking someone for $10. Can I have $10? Like, I feel weird.
Guy who's not necessarily a close friend, but we work together. And
no, I've known Chris for years. Like we both actually, when we started our careers, my first TV gig regular TV gig was on a show called The X Show on FX, and it was the same producers.
Hi, Wade.
It was, hey, Wade, what's going on?
Nice to see you.
Hey, it was the same producers. It was Mindless Entertainment, and Chris Hardwick had done the Singled Out show, and I was like, the Singled Out guys. I did like 3 shows for them, and Chris did other shows too, and yeah. So there you go. I think. Are you yawning again?
No, I had something in my shoe.
You had something in your shoe.
Something in my shoe. I'm good.
Yes, the squeaky wheel gets the grit. Yes. So could you just squeak a little bit? And ask Chris Hardwick when he's going to talk. You can ask him, Blood Monk.
Yeah.
Again, that might be an inside joke. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm taking more questions for the next 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
a few more minutes. Sure, we're not.
Stay late.
She was yawning.
I was not.
See, she was yawning.
Slipping.
Yawning. Now, here's what's really weird. What's with all this X-Men versus Avengers when the Avengers isn't even out yet?
Because people love to compare everything to everything and say, oh, the thing I love is better than the thing you love.
True. Now, I was going to say, this Superman movie that's coming out, I actually interviewed, the guy who's playing him, Henry Cavill. And here's what I love about Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a man.
Yeah.
He's a Superman. Christopher Reeve and Brandon Routh, I feel other people who've played Superman are really good looking. They're like pretty boys. You know.
Dean Cain.
They're pretty. They're like male models.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is a man in the sense that Charlton Heston is a man and Kirk Douglas is a man. If you just see the movie The Immortals, I think that's really convinced me, like, Henry Cavill, he is the one, he is it. So I talked to Henry Cavill, I asked him about Superman. He says, I can't tell you anything about it except I'll say it's the best script I've ever read. He said it was amazing, it's epic. And because Christopher Nolan's involved, and Christopher Nolan, obviously, I think he's done some pretty good work with these Dark Knight Batman films. Big fan of how he really portrayed Batman the way I imagined him when I was reading the Frank Miller Dark Knight comics. But this new Superman movie I'm just super excited about because I feel like, yes, I think Superman's going to punch a lot of people. I mean, Zack Snyder, I feel like if Zack Snyder's on a short leash, like, don't overdo the slow motion. You know, really, stick to the emotion of the character. What's it like to be the super being, and then what do you do? I'm just wondering, the thing that bugs me, though, is he doesn't have the red underpants. That kind of bugs me a little bit now. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I don't know that it'll be edgy, but I think it'll be, what would it be like to really be like that? I think Chris Nolan's approach, and he does this with, I actually, what I did? The week that those comics came out, I wore red underpants on the outside of my blue jeans and went into a store and bought those comics. And then I did a video of it. I never posted it, though. I should have posted it.
You should. The bolts.
Yeah, look, before you let's not have too many petitions. We need to,
one big petition.
One petition, and I'm going to be really selfish for me to get my show on Nerdist or to get me on the Nerdist podcast. So,
work together as a unit.
Yes, work together as a unit. We can't have that many petitions. I'm going to be selfish and say we should just do the petition that serves me.
Sounds good.
That's it. Anyways, couple more questions from you folks. I'm just trying to feed you information on the Nerdist channel while wearing red underpants. I would do that. I think that would be fun.
Well, as long as
I have not seen Hesher. I haven't seen Hesher. Let's see. There's a movie I really want to see. Oh, Prometheus. Okay, we're talking about Prometheus here.
No.
It looks amazing. I mean, it's sort of back to the old school, and also seeing Ridley Scott return to genre. he's one of those directors like Chris Nolan, and this is why I'm a big Chris Nolan fan. His approach to everything is can it be real? How would this really function? If there was a person who became a Batman, what would he wear? How would things function? What would his daily life be like? You know?
None of the suspension of disbelief. Make it real.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, I would also love to see it one day, that Superman versus Batman movie. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, but wouldn't Superman just win because he has
well, no, if you read The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller comic, there's a, you know, the fourth book is about this sort of growing, the rivalry kind of grows between the two of them, and they actually fight.
Nice.
And Clark would never kill anybody, so he's not going to kill Bruce Wayne, but, you know, Oliver Queen, he ripped his arm off. Right. Oliver Queen, kind of good at archery, still good even with the single arm. In any case, yeah, see, Batman would probably cheat. Batman would fight dirty, but yeah, I mean, he had like kryptonite bombs that, I mean,
kryptonite battering.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm big fan of that Frank Miller thing, but I think that when because they're invariably, I think they're going to reboot the Batman series after Dark Knight Rises. I feel like Batman, Bruce Wayne, Dark Knight, that character, he's like 007. He's like James Bond. There will be new incarnations, and when I've had like a favorite comic book, they get the new sort of illustrator, writer team, and it just has a new flavor. I feel like they just need to do something different with it. I mean, they should do a Batman at 60 years old who's a retired alcoholic who hasn't basically put on the suit in 10 years. Why don't they just make that movie as a standalone movie? Yeah, as just a standalone movie. It could be just sort of like, here's another, or has anyone seen that thing on YouTube? Have you ever seen a thing called Grayson? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Grayson.
Matt, you've seen Grayson? Okay, you're looking up Grayson after this.
Okay.
It's a 5-minute trailer. You got to get it. It's a 5-minute trailer that a very passionate fan made. He spent like 30 grand of his own money, shot it in 16 millimeter. It's the trailer begins, Batman is dead, and it's his funeral. And Robin like has been retired, and then he puts the suit back on because all these old villains kind of rear their ugly head now that Batman's gone. You will get chills watching it. We're watching it right after this.
Okay.
Folks, watch that Grayson trailer. It's been around for a while. Is there anyone raise your hands? Wait, I can't see your hands. Raise your hands if you're raise the hands of the people I can see on video. Raise your hands if you've seen the Grayson trailer.
In the room.
Hand. If you've seen it. You can't get the Netflix? Max, you got to work on that. Do you think that Dick Grayson deserves the cape and cowl? I'm not sure. I've never been a fan. Like, Chris Nolan couldn't think, and neither could Tim Burton, how to actually work Robin into the universe of Batman. And think about it. It doesn't make much sense. Let's think about this, folks. Batman wears a suit that's practical, right? Even make a motorcycle outfit that's very similar to the Dark Knight wear, right? So, hey, you're getting compliments from Max Denson.
Take your jacket off.
So Batman's suit is practical. There are reasons for everything on the suit, right? It's also dark so he can hide. I can't see Batman getting a partner and going, okay, you're going to be my partner in fighting crime. We're just going to make your suit more colorful.
And not practical.
I can't see Christian Bale saying that.
Yeah.
I can't see him saying, we'll give you a yellow cape and green underpants.
And red shirts.
Make it an orange vest. Make the sleeves green to match that underpants. You'll just do tights. And how about some Robin Hood-like booties? Also, you're just going to, you don't need a helmet, don't worry. You won't get hurt.
Just a little bandana.
Just a little mask across your eyes. No one will know it's you. I can't see that actually. I mean, you'd really have to come up with some reason for that to work.
Yeah.
And one thing I have, this is not a spoiler, just something I learned, that they're now beginning to do listings of catalogs of merch for Dark Knight Rises, and there's a listing of all the action figures. One of the action figures just says secret. They're not revealing. I think a Nightwing movie would be terrible. I actually talked about this on, I was on a podcast called Comics of Doom. All we talked about was Batman comics. We talked about the Batman Year One DVD. Nightwing is the dumbest character. Have you ever gone to any nerd event and you see someone dressed as Nightwing? I feel bad for those guys. I think that costume only works.
No taste.
It only works if have ice skates and you're on ice. If you're on ice skates on ice.
I can do that.
And you
cosplay Nightwing.
You have a Nightwing costume. I'm thinking, okay, that goes with an ice skating thing. I could see it, very colorful. Maybe you could even add glitter to it. Nightwing is the dumbest character. It's like, look, just... So, yeah. But I'm really looking forward to this Dark Knight film because one of the things about movies today, which the internet has ruined, I blame all of you and me, is that there are no surprises in films anymore. There's no... Yes, he does look like Blue Beetle's boyfriend, Captain Feely. Deadpool is much better. But, you know, is like... Spoilers ruin everything. And as soon as they screen a movie, it's over. But, like, Chris Nolan, I know, when he did Dark Knight Rises script, he had most of the script. The last few pages of the script were missing. You had to read the script, and then he would just tell you what happened at the end.
Interesting.
So no one knows... There's no printed version of the ending. They recently did a screening at Warner Brothers where I understand there was a standing ovation, except that the ending was not what Warner Brothers expected. Apparently the ending is not what they were thinking it was going to be. I really gotta give him credit for keeping a sense of mystery about that. I mean, there's hardly any of it. I mean, I go to film festivals on occasion, and actually, I'll be at a film festival. Oh, I should plug this.
Yes, please
Gonna throw a plug. I will be at the, God, I'm going to look at my calendar so I'll give you the exact dates.
It's going to be at a film festival.
I'm going to be at an event where I'm going to be interviewing Stan Lee. The weekend, it's a special screening of The Avengers, and then Stan Lee is going to be there. It's at the Catalina Film Festival on Catalina Island. So I'm going to be doing, like, Stan Lee's presenting The Avengers that weekend because that's the opening weekend for The Avengers. The Catalina Film Festival is going to show the film, and then I'm doing a Q&A with Stan Lee. And this will be the second time I've interviewed him. I interviewed him at Dragon Con. Anyone going to Dragon Con? I'll be at Dragon. You're going to try?
I'm going to try.
No, you're going.
I've already taken a lot of PTO. I'm going to go to Japan.
You got to go to Dragon Con. You got to go. It is the best. It is the best cosplay. It is so much fun. It's going from hotel to hotel. It's like Mardi Gras for cosplayers, right?
Yeah.
Who's been there? You're in deep Saful. What's the Saful for? An ambush bug movie. That could be cool. Like, I'd like to see like some of these, you know, minor characters get their own films.
A friend of mine.
South Florida. Okay, there we go. Thanks. You're in deep South Florida.
A friend of mine did a cosplay at Lost Dragon Con as Ambush Bug.
Okay, that's all. I'm putting together costumes. I'm probably going to do my Ben Grimm costume just to goof, and then I'm also going to do, but what I want to do is I know they won't let me walk around in bare feet. I'm going to actually make, like, feet. I'm going to actually, like, cardboard that is, I'm going to paint it flesh colored. Then I'm going to draw the feet on the way Jack Kirby draws feet.
Cool.
So it'll be, like, squared off toes.
Awesome.
You know how, like, he does the, anyways. So that'll be one of my costumes, and I did this costume for Halloween that I kept. I call it Batman's Bad Night.
Yes, I saw it. I've seen your
there are pictures on my Facebook or whatever. You can look them up. It's basically Batman just getting off work, and he had like the worst day at work. That was awful. So like,
it's all ripped up.
Basically, it looks like Indiana Jones in the second Indiana Jones film with like one of the arms is missing. There's blood. There's blood on my face. There's like I have one black eye. Like the bottom of the costume is like torn off and there's all blood dripping down. Like it's all like torn up. It like looks like Batman just got off work.
Yeah.
So
but it's different from all the other Batman.
It's different. I kind of feel like if I'm gonna have a costume, and I actually do this in real life. I'm kind of a freak. Like I like to have something that it has a story behind it. I know this sounds weird, but I'll love to, when I'm not supposed to, I'll go to a bar and I'm wearing a tuxedo jacket, a tuxedo shirt with blood on it, and I'm just going to the bar. Just for fun. I know, it's weird, but like...
what I did before we're done.
Okay, well look, but like a lot this happens in LA, you're aware of this, right? You never take improv classes?
No.
All right. I'm not a fan of improv classes because I think improv is for pussies, okay? Look, here's what I like to do. I like to fuck with people in real life. That's dangerous improv.
Yes.
It's like I don't videotape this. I just do this stuff for fun because one thing I found, I'm going to give you guys a tip. This is funny. If you say to anyone, if you say that to anybody, they'll stop doing what they're doing. Strangers. I'll be at the grocery store. Someone's reaching for cheese. And I'll say, and they stop. They don't know who I am. No. Why would they listen to me? I've done it with cops. It works with cops. Like I pulled over by a cop and I was like, he stopped. There's something primal in your head from when you were a child that when you hear the sound, it says, stop doing what you're doing. So if you do that with anyone, it's like having Jedi powers. Hey, Scott. It's like having Jedi powers. So try that. I loved, and I'll do stuff like if I'm just walking on the street, it's a really crowded street, like in New York or something, and someone's walking real close to me, I'll say something like, and they only found one shoe.
Yeah.
Or I'll say,
something totally random.
and she'll be like, and I'll be walking by, just like, I can't believe you got pregnant. Just randomly in the middle of the conversation, specifically for people I don't know to overhear, because then they'll do that like, what? Like, or I've done stuff where.
Here's a good one that Matt told me about this friend.
Okay.
They just
good. So you're into this too.
Well, just in the middle of a conversation with your friend, just turn to him, or even if you're not involved with them, just say, wake up, you're dreaming, and then just go back to doing whatever.
Oh my God, that's great.
Go back to doing whatever you're doing.
Oh, that's good.
And just,
oh my God, that's good.
Just go back
and
to
that's why I had to murder them. Oh my God, that's great. Row twang, very cool.
I like
that. Fire in a theater, okay, but that's
you don't want to create danger or anything.
My favorite thing to do, I'll do this on dates. I'll do this on dates. This is bad. I like to test to see if a girl has a sense of humor. One of the loudest sounds in the world that will stop a room is taking silverware and slamming it onto a ceramic plate.
Something.
Yeah, like, so I'll slam it, and I'll get up, and I'll say something like, up the ass, and I just, like, walk away. And I had a room full of people at this one restaurant in Los Feliz applaud. Just like, because I got up, I slammed it down, I was like really mad, and then I like walked away and I went to the bathroom. I was gone for like 5 minutes. So, I don't know, Amazing Nerdo, it's pretty funny. If you know it's a joke. If you know me, it's because, not that she would know. It's a good
litmus test to find out if she has a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's definitely, no, up the ass, like I'm finding out like she told me, like I can't believe you did that.
36?
Sort of that's the intonation. Yeah, exactly.
That include me?
Yeah, 37 dicks. There we go. We said that at the same time. Well, that's great. Yeah.
But I did the other day. I was doing a theater show up in Hollywood, and I was playing this character who got mauled by a weretiger. But right before the show, my friend wanted to go out to dinner, and I said, I got to do my makeup beforehand. He said, well, if you're not embarrassed, go out in your makeup. So I had all these like scratches and bite marks on me, and we just went out for pizza, and I acted like nothing was happening.
I love
a lot of double takes. It was great.
I love that. Like I would do that. Like yeah, that's great. Eddie Steak. Eddie Steak.
He gets it.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You're in deep South Florida. That's good. Yeah. Warm peanut butter involved. Thank you. But big Kevin Smith fan. I actually have a Clerks hockey jersey. That's pretty cool. That I don't know. It doesn't fit me that well. But I do have a Monroeville. My buddy Mark Bell, who runs the filmthreat.com website, he like has sent me a jersey of, they do this like street hockey. Kevin Smith has a whole bunch of street hockey teams, and one of the teams is the Monroeville Zombies. So he sent me a Monroeville Zombies hockey jersey that has my name on the back, and it's awesome. Like
that is awesome.
Oh yeah, I got to wear it on the show like at the right time. But yeah, so funny. Amazing Nerdo. Guess what? Amazing Nerdo. I really have to pee all the time.
Yeah.
Like no. Like, because I only have one kidney. I talk about it actually on the first episode of my podcast. So you can hear the long-winded. I do drink a lot of water, but it's like with the one kidney, apparently it's like it just processes the liquid faster. I've always like had that.
It's like go, working up the time.
Yeah.
We're both
crazy.
Pregnant.
Anyway, so any last final questions here? Because I don't even know what the time.
We went super extra long because Chris is awesome and all you guys are having fun.
Well, I love.
And so the ones who stuck around, you're having the most fun.
You're having the most fun. And then I will say this: just listen to the end of the podcast, sign up on iTunes, and leave a good review. I always ask, like if people leave reviews, that actually gets sort of bumped up in the comedy category. So just like rank it and then like write a comment like, "I love the show. Chris was so great. He stayed for a really long time on that stick cam chat, and then blah blah blah." And then he said, "No, leave a good review, not a bad review." Oh, so just if you go, that just really helps like get more people know about the podcast. But if you listen at the very end, I tell you how you can win prizes. I actually have a Zune.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people that still has a Zune. I think I'm going to give my Zune away on a future episode.
Because away random crap.
Why do I need a Zune? Why do I need a Zune? Would anyone? I wonder if someone would feel bad that they won. Like I'm the Zune winner.
You remember the old cell phones used to hang on the Attack the Show set? We gave away so many of those.
Really?
To people on the show, to people on Twitter.
Well,
they just love it.
Well, I have all these like old tech devices that I'll give to family sometimes, but sometimes even they'll go like, "We're good, Chris. We got iPods now. They're cheap. They're just like so." But I do love giving stuff to fans, like those cards I use on the show, or just like a Zune, or I'll give that Clerks hockey jersey away. but I'm going to give it away like maybe on a show where we kind of talk about Clerks or something. Because they're talking about bringing the Clerks animated show back, which would be awesome.
Ooh. Yeah, isn't Kevin Smith supposed to be on Attack of the Show this week?
I hope he is.
I thought he was.
Like in studio or doing that other segment?
I think in studio. I think that's what Nando said.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. Well, I want to do one of his Smodcasts. I know Ralph Garman from years ago. He and I were on a show together. That's how we met. And Ralph Garman does his show with Kevin, and I'd love to do that one. Just it's sort of like it has to be like timing and schedule and getting in. But if you keep listening to Podcrash every week, you'll be surprised. You'll hear about shows you've never heard of. You'll hear shows that like, oh, I heard about that one, and it's kind of a cool way to sample other podcasts. Because I think podcasts is really, because people still don't know what it is, I really think podcasts are going to get even bigger, especially when smart devices you can put in your car. Like they have this thing now that's coming out. It's one of the Kickstarters. You can take your smartphone, put it in there, and you have a radio dial. I listen to Stitcher. I use Stitcher and iTunes, of course, to listen to podcasts. But those are the things that I use. I have many favorites. I have many favorites that I listen to. You ever listen to Doug Loves Movies? You ever heard? I know I'm going to be in a future episode of that. I talked to Doug, and at some point I'll be on it. I love that show. You ever listen to anyone Doug Loves Movies? Love that show. Love Doug Loves Movies. Any other final questions?
Yes.
From people?
It's already almost 6. Oh my God.
Yeah, almost 6. I've got to take off at some point.
Yeah.
But you guys are talking amongst each other. What do you need me for?
Yeah.
One last question. It should be the greatest question ever.
Make it good.
Last chance.
Make it good. Although someone did mention this good one twice. If you want to do it. So,
wait. Do I drive a Batmobile? A couple quick things. Yeah. Do I drive a Batmobile? No. However, I do have a car that I've tricked out to kind of be Bat themed. Like I got a scrape on the side of the car, and I was like, oh, you know when you get like any sort of ding on your car, a scrape or a dent, it's going to cost you $600 to get fixed.
Which is stupid.
Who cares, right? So what I did was I bought this thing on Etsy, which are these like swarm of bats. It's kind of like the same material from Color Forms. And so you take this stuff, and I made a swarm of bats coming off the 2 back wheels of my car. It looks so badass. There are pictures on Facebook of it. If you look me up, all my photos, like photo albums, are public, so you don't have to be my friend.
Right. Just look up.
I've kind of maxed out on friends, but like you can look up that album, and I even have an album of all the weird bat mods I've made, and then other sort of bat related stuff that I like.
Next time you come, this guy's like the Martha Stewart of Batman nerds.
In fact,
we were chatting about that last time.
In fact,
but we didn't get to the show.
I hope it's okay to plug a show I'm doing for.
Plug so many. What's one more?
Plug a show I'm doing for Machinima. Just doing 8 episodes of a show called Craft Holes. Craft Holes is me showing you things you can do around the house to make stuff cool, whether it be your car or, your clothes, or just like these sort of cool tips of like, hey, this is really simple things you can do. Just make the stuff in your life more badass.
That's weird because my last name is Craft. So I was like, oh, Craft Holes.
Yeah, Craft Holes. I know. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Hilarious.
So Craft Holes it's going to be on Machinima in the summer. I think we're shooting in May or June, and it'll be like later in the year. And then I'm also doing one last thing you can check out on YouTube. Look up Fetishville.
Oh yes, Fetishville.
Fetish VIL. Look that up. The trailer debuted. Did you see the trailer yet?
I haven't.
You should see the trailer. It's just a 2-minute trailer, which is sort of a proof of concept for this animated series about girls who work at a fetish dungeon. But it's like a comedy about it's like a women in prison movie in comedy form, but with it's
dolls.
And the way I argue that this will be, it's not as dirty as you think. It's more comedy, but it's search on Facebook, Chris Gore Batman, or just look up Chris Gore.
You'll find him.
And then you'll find like the albums, and my albums should be all public. So it's a comedy is what it is. And it's also if you look at let's make a list. Okay, female video game characters. How many of them have sexy outfits? What percentage would you say of female video game characters that have sexy outfits?
85%.
Maybe 100%. 85 maybe less.
Slightly more conservative ones, but not a lot.
Okay, well,
more in the RPGs.
Let's let the dudes answer.
Okay.
I'd say it's going to be 79%. That's 90%. I think Captain Feely is correct. Captain Feely, 90%. So I feel like that's a good. That's what this show is. You should watch it. Anyways, that's the end of the plugs. Any last?
You should hear. It's one of those guys.
Say
Yeah.
Wait a second. It does work. They're too far away. You have to. Okay. It helps to make eye contact.
If someone walks by next time.
It helps. Someone has to be in the midst of an act. Yeah. You have to be like, I'm reaching for this mouse. Like or if someone's reaching for your mouse, if someone was like trying to take your jacket, or they were trying to they're going to do like that inappropriate workplace back rub.
That Wade did.
I've never done that. I've never done that. So.
Wade Beckett, executive producer of X-Play.
I love Wade Beckett.
Me too.
So yeah, next time a cop is handcuffing you, if you say that, it'll give you just that half second of pause because it's in your primal brain. It's because it's from childhood. Yeah. Literally, I've used these tricks. There's other tricks I've learned too that are probably aren't appropriate for this show, for this chat. But if you listen to my podcast, and if you listen to, let's see, The Naughty Show will be next week. I was on Keith and the Girl. You should listen to that one. Listen to the Sex Nerd Sandra podcast that I was on. Right? That's where you can get more advanced tips. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, it was really fun to talk to you guys. I love doing this. I love chatting with you guys. Follow me. Ask me questions on the Twitter. I'll follow up if there are things that you missed. What was the name of that movie? I try to get to most of the stuff when I see it. And then, I listen to the pod crash, and I will send you things for free.
Yes.
I do enjoy
it. It's that simple. Just that simple.
Simple.
All right.
Great.
Well, I guess we're going to get out of here.
Thanks so much.
See you
guys. Oh, and here's one last thing that you could try. Do this, like if you're doing the webcam stuff, there's one thing that I like to do is you just do like this. You go like, get an extreme close-up of like if you just do an extreme close-up of a belly button, you just do like this. It looks really dirty. It looks like horribly, like, oh.
But really hairy.
But then you pull out, and it's like, hey, it's me. Give that a try. It works every time. Oh, yeah, 2 fingers. Oh. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. See you next chat. Bye.